So we're with the Raiders and the Rams today in Napa. Ndamukong was a Ram a year ago. He was actually second of the team sack list behind Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald had a lot, and really no one else had many. But Ndamukong did get to the quarterback a couple of times and then left in the offseason. And now he finds himself in Tampa with a new team. And he finds himself also today on Inside Training Camp with our Kurt Warner.
So coming off a run to the Super Bowl with the Rams.
Yep.
And come down here to Tampa, and a lot of people would look at the team and say, they're not in that kind of position to make a run. Why Tampa Bay?
I think it's a great situation, and I think, truthfully, any team, any year has an opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, you look at LA the year before, they lost early in the playoffs and then got to the Super Bowl the following year. So, great thing about football, you never know any given Sunday.
Exactly. So, as you come down here to Tampa, coming off of that Super Bowl run, what's the one thing you learned that you take with you from that run and want to bring down here to Tampa?
I think it's truthfully experience. Having gone that far, understanding how you position yourself each and every single day, preparing, and being able to implement that with my younger guys that we have here. Well, great talented group, Vita, Vea, Will Golston, a lot of talented guys that I think will have an exceptional year, especially under Coach Bowles and his defense. And I've been excited to have an opportunity to work with him.
Tell me just about the experience in the Super Bowl. I was fortunate to play in 3.
Yeah.
I was on both sides of it, the winning side and the losing side. How much have you thought about that game and what you guys could have done different to win?
I think there's a lot of things that you can obviously go back and look at the film and change, but unfortunately you can't go back and change. It played out the way it played out. I got to move forward. Hopefully I get another opportunity to, like you said, go back and get a win and be able to host that trophy and have that excitement. But unfortunately we didn't get the job done.
Well, last year you played with one of the best defensive players next to you in Aaron Donald. So I know you had to sacrifice some of what you do best to be in a different position. What's your role going to be like in this defense?
I think having the conversation with Coach Boyles and Coach Casey, just having an opportunity to get after the pass rusher, being able to be a tack-style defense, which I've always loved and being a part of, and I think we'll have a lot of success with that. Create one-on-ones, opportunities for each and every player on the defense to be successful versus just one particular player.
So, fourth team. Numerous different defenses. I'm always curious, being an offensive guy. For a defensive tackle, what's the biggest adjustment or the biggest thing you have to learn moving from one defense to another?
I think terminology is going to be the biggest thing, and being able to grasp that. There's only so many particular ways that you can play 3 technique, shade, 1 tech, 5 tech, and whatnot. So it's the terminology is the biggest difference, understanding how people look at things and call the same type of plays different names.
Well, we live in a world where it's stats driven. Everybody wants to talk about stats. Everybody wants to talk about sacks when it comes to a defensive lineman. I'm just curious, for you, how do you measure success on a year-to-year basis?
Measure success is consistency, being able to have statistics at the same time, being able to translate that into wins. And sometimes, depending on what your role is and what you have to get done, there's lots of ways that you can evaluate that. And I think even better yet, the guys around you, are they successful versus just having yourself? I think I've been given a tremendous God-given talent. I've been able to play at a high level and continue to do that. But if that doesn't translate to my teammates playing at a high level, it really doesn't mean anything, because defensive line play is all about the 4 guys getting to the quarterback.
Yeah. Well, best of luck this year. I look forward to watching down here in Tampa Bay.
I appreciate it.
Looking at Mike Evans' numbers from last year, 86 for 1524, 8 touchdowns, 17.7 average. Pretty good. But it's a new offense, it's a new coaching staff. There's Kurt Warner with that guy in Tampa.
So Mike, first things first, I hear you're a hooper. So you got to tell me a little bit about what your hoop game is like.
It's all right, like a miniature LeBron.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to say miniature because
LeBron.
he's 3 inches taller than me and like 30 pounds heavier than me. But
okay.
It's something like that. I like to pass, play defense, things like that. I could score if I wanted to.
All right, next time you're in AZ, game's at my house, so you let me know.
I got you. Whenever I retire in about 10 years.
Okay, let's talk about this year on the football field. Coach Arians comes in. What's this offense going to look like this year?
Hopefully a lot like last year, but more explosive.
Okay.
You know, I think we're going to be very explosive. Just want to score more touchdowns in the red zone instead of trying to kick field goals. That's our goal.
And so when you talk about more explosive, I kind of look at the wide receiver core. Last year you had D-Jax kind of take the top off the defense. Yeah. Adam Humphries to kind of work the underneath, and then you had the opportunity to kind of work in the middle of those two guys. Those two guys are gone this year.
Yeah.
First of all, tell me, does that change your role within this offense?
No, it doesn't. You know, I'm going to be the X receiver. No matter what, you know, those guys were phenomenal players, and we're definitely going to miss them. I especially am going to miss them. They're good friends of mine, but I wish them nothing but the best in their new teams. But we got guys that are going to step up and fill in. You know, Chris Godwin, he's a really, really good player, very versatile. Bashard Perriman could take the top off just like DJ could. And we got a lot of good rookies coming in, so we're going to be just as explosive this year.
And so which of those guys is showing up and looking to be the number 2 at this point in camp?
Number 2, well, it's Chris Godwin. Okay. Obviously, me and him are competing for one. Actually,
I'm not sure that's the case.
That's how highly I think of Chris.
Okay.
He's such a great player, and I love playing with him.
Let's talk about Jameis. You've been with Jameis for a number of years. Obviously, he's going into that 5th year, and everybody's looking to go, okay, is he a franchise quarterback? Just tell me, you've been around him. Has he convinced you he's a franchise quarterback? And if so, why?
Absolutely. He's done things. We're in Tampa, so we're a smaller market, and we haven't been winning. So when we win, it'll show. But he's been breaking records. It goes unnoticed, you know what I'm saying? Because things that happen off the field or whatnot. But he's a hell of a player. He's one of the hardest workers. He is the hardest worker I've been around thus far in my career. And if he keeps working like that, he could be one of the best. He's still really young.
Very young. I mean, I think everybody forgets that because it's all about you got to do it quickly so you can get that big contract. But just tell me what it is about Jameis that makes him special.
Like I said, his work ethic. But he's a really smart football player. He's really smart. Like before certain plays, he'll tell me like this is the coverage we're gonna get. Like he sees a pre-snap, and then we'll lock eyes, and then he'll do that. Like that's what you see in good quarterbacks. He knows the coverages before the ball snap, and then he likes to make corrections a lot. So when he does something wrong in the game, he likes to fix it in practice and in film.
Yeah. All right, so not a lot of expectations down here. You guys are kind of under the radar. So answer this question for me. Tampa Bay Buccaneers make a push for the playoffs if?
I don't want to make excuses. I think we're going to, no matter what, but injuries always plays a factor. And it has the past 5 years I've been here. I've been on some solid teams where we could have made the playoffs a couple years, but we had a lot of important injuries.
Yeah. But what's the other key offensively? What do you say, hey, we know we've got the explosive, but what do we need to do to make sure that we're consistent on a week in and week out basis?
Well, less turnovers and definitely less penalties because it's hard enough to win in this league. But when you're beating yourself, you know that, Kurt. I mean, if you beat yourself, you can't win. So we don't want to beat ourselves.
Well, awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you in Coach Arians' offense. I watched it in Arizona for a long time, and big play offense. I know you can make big plays. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Kurt. My man.